Hi everyone, this is Anne with Graphic Design How To, and today I'm going to show you how to colorize a black and white photo. And I'm going to show you 3 options because I really feel like the amount of grain in the photo really makes a difference. So if there's less grain, you'll get a better result. If there's more grain, it's not so great. Also, a portrait is always better than like a zoomed out picture of people. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, first we'll start with a modern portrait with hardly any grain, and that will be this portrait. So I'm just going to drag this into Photoshop. Now, by the way, this is only going to work in newer versions of Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop 2024 right now. Anyway, first we'll need to check the mode. So I'll come up to Image, Mode, and this is a grayscale image, so I'm going to change it to RGB color. Next, I'll come up here to Filter, Neural Filters. Now find Colorize in the list and turn it on. It might be grayed out. If it is, you'll need to come up and check your image mode. And then if it's your first time using it, you might have to download it. Okay, so I've turned it on and now I can see the colorized version right here. And it is really nice. It's completely believable. Now, if we look over here, we have adjustments we can make. We have profiles we can choose. We can also increase the saturation a bit. If we want our color to be more on the cyan side, we can move this over here. I think the color is perfect, so I'm going to leave it as is. And we also have artifact reduction and noise reduction here. And once I'm happy with the way it looks, I'll push OK. Now we have a new layer. We can turn that off and on to see the color version and the black and white version. Okay, next I'm going to try with a picture that has more grain. So this is an old photo with a worse camera. And if we zoom in, we can see it has a lot of graininess in here. This is also a scan of a printed photo, so this wasn't taken with a nice digital camera. So let's go ahead and try with this one. We'll go to Filter, Neural Filters. I'll come down here to Colorize under Color, and here's what we get with this option. Photoshop realizes that the flowers should be a color, although they look kind of dead, honestly. And then we might want to remove some of the color over here so that it matches this area a little bit. But you can tell the coloration is not quite as good as with our modern digital photo. And I'll go ahead and say OK. And here's the difference between the grayscale and the colorized version. All right, let's try one more photo with even more grain. This is a photo of my mom. Isn't she cute? And this is a photo I scanned with kind of a crappy scanner, so we'll see how the filter does on this image. Now you'll notice Colorize is grayed out. If it is, you'll need to cancel and then change your image to something other than grayscale. I'll go with RGB color. And now we'll try Filter, Neural Filters and Colorize. So this is the least successful in my opinion. I think it does an okay job. It doesn't really know what to do with the color of her face. So it's okay, but not the greatest. I'll say okay. And here is the gray and colored. Okay, next I'm going to try a zoomed out image with a lot of people. And you might recognize this. It's a pretty famous picture. I'm going to go ahead and change my mode to RGB, and then we'll go through the same process. And yeah, this is not great at all, especially the background. It really just doesn't know what to do with this. And the skin tones are kind of oversaturated. I think we could kind of play with the saturation here and get them to look maybe a little more natural, but it's still very strange. So I hope this video has helped you learn about how the Colorize feature of the neural filters works. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next week with another graphic design video. Thank you.